So last time on Absolute Wonder Woman, Diana was able to win her freedom from the underworld. Finally, she can go into Gateway City and protect it as she sees fit, but because she was able to outsmart Hades, she is still bound to the underworld at least for 1 month out of the year. Something she wanted so that she could still visit her mother. But with Diana's newfound freedom is gonna come a lot more problems, as now she has to deal with different threats outside of the underworld, so let's get into it. And we catch up with Diana in the wilds of Gateway City as we see a bunch of birds and different animals surrounding her, and she's putting letters on each of the birds, wanting to get a hold of her sisters, wanting to get some kind of news to them. And after giving them her blessing and love, she casts a spell sending off dozens of birds into the sky. Whatever this news is, it's very important. Now before we figure out what that is, we move over to Area 41 where we see a woman named Veronica Cale going through some secret corridors, on her way to meet a mysterious person. It turns out this is our introduction to Absolute Dr. Poison, and she is not happy as she calls Cale an unbelievable bitch. She is not happy that she does not have a new suit, she doesn't have any fine motor skills and is constantly crushing the equipment she needs for her experiments. And for those of you who are a bit confused, maybe you don't read too many Wonder Woman comics, Dr. Poison did appear in the 2017 Wonder Woman movie. But a big difference between these two is here in the Absolute Universe, Dr. Poison does not have a real body. She is non-corporeal. And we find out why Director Cale has come to meet Dr. Poison. She was able to scrape together some of the death sound the Tetracide made. For those of you who don't remember, one of the biggest moves that Big Monster had is that it would make this death call, basically putting the entire city into a trance to willingly walk into its belly. Now Wonder Woman was able to stop this ability by turning the entire city deaf, handicapping an entire city. So Cale bringing this to Dr. Poison can only be bad news. And it's safe to assume this lady Director Cale and this new facility, Area 41, is very shady. We even find out that although Dr. Poison asked for a new suit, Cale has no intention of ever accepting this request. But she is allowing Dr. Poison a few hours outside to get some new samples. Either way, they have Poison very locked down, using her intellect for their own gain. And while they try to figure out what to do with the Tetracide death sound, we see Diana's friends come to find her in the wilds of Gateway City. And Gia even brought Diana some ingredients for a new spell she's about to cast. But there might be an issue. Although Diana is making this big space her home, she may not actually own the land, and the city may fight her for it. But it turns out Diana does legally own all of this land under Hecate Holdings LLC, which is pretty funny. Now I was a bit lost. I don't know if she was able to do this herself, as this concept is pretty foreign to her, or if this is something else that was planned by the gods, as this is something she hints at. But either way, we know she won't need to legally fight the city for this land, and now she needs some privacy so she can finally cast this big spell. And what a spell it is! As we see her dig into the ground, she vows to be the weapon of justice and truth to the goddesses Hecate, Athena, Artemis, Hestia, Aphrodite, Demeter, and Hera. And with all of their blessings, we see a structure forming all around Diana, as this becomes her base of operations. This becomes her home. And now the Hyron is fully built, and it really has me wondering, is there anything Diana can't do with enough prep and enough ingredients? It feels like she kinda has a spell for everything. But either way, everyone is invited as she has made them tea, and they can now see the inside of Diana's new home. And as they're all having a good time drinking tea, Diana hears something that no one else seems to be able to hear. And it starts to really bother her as she grabs her head and tells them that they all need to stay there, that they'll be safer, and she'll go figure out what exactly this is. And as she flies to Gateway City, we figure out what this sound is. They're these tiny little robot spiders that are making the noise of the Tetracide. Far weaker, but it is causing a lot of chaos. It's causing Diana sheer pain and confusion. And we know she has the ability to make herself deaf, but if she does this before she can find the source, all is lost. And as she crushes one of the spiders, she realizes that this isn't just technology. This may be tech mixed with a bit of magic. And as she does her best to help each citizen, it's not fast enough. There are so many spiders and she can only get to them one at a time. So she realizes she needs to cast a spell to make herself seem more threatening. And like I said before, it does seem like she has a spell for everything. As she whispers into a vial, "They want only me," casts a spell in a different language, and now every spider in the city is only looking at her, and she didn't realize just how many there were as she begins to get overwhelmed. And it's not even that the spiders are stronger than Diana, it's the noise of the Tetracide getting into her mind, causing her to panic and doubt herself, even telling herself that her mother would be ashamed, pushing all kinds of negative thoughts into her head, the feeling of hopelessness, until she's had enough. And as she starts to break free from the bots, she realizes they have limits, but she has very few. And she sees exactly where the source is, as they're all climbing up one building. And she's ready to punch whoever is causing all this chaos right in the throat. And as she breaks in, she finds Dr. Poison. This is the person behind all of this chaos. And Diana couldn't believe someone would be able to weaponize the sound of the Tetracide so quickly, and to attack the people that are still recovering from the first original Tetracide. Because of how cruel all this is, Diana is pissed and she is ready to throw down. But Dr. Poison wants none of the smoke, begging not to be hit, telling Diana that she'll want to hear her. And as Diana begins to charge, she stops her with a twist I did not see coming. She knows where Diana can find an Amazon. Diana has been searching for them for a while now, and somehow Dr. Poison is the one with the answers, and this is where the issue ends. And honestly, I really like this issue, but you can kind of tell this is being used to build up to whatever happens in the next issue. As we got a lot of new things in this one. We got Diana's new home, an intro to Director Kale in Area 41, we got Dr. Poison, and now we're left on this cliffhanger to see who this new Amazon is. Will Diana finally find her people? Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one.